Yet another political podcast. Come together and yap with us.
Welcome to yet another podcast. Week 2. This is a thing impromptu a week ago, and a lot of you watched it, so I guess we're going to do it again. I've got some friends here with me, and we'll introduce ourselves. We'll go around clockwise. I'm Dustin.
My name is Vanessa, and I'm here as Dustin's guest. Hello.
And I'm Adam, also a friend of Dustin's with opinions.
That some people even care about.
Yeah.
So, first off, we spent quite a lot of time last week talking about the Charlie Kirk shooter. There's really no new information that moves the needle, so I don't actually even want to spend time on that and spinning conspiracies because that's all we can do at this point. And same with the Dallas shooting that happened the other day at the ICE detention facility. We know it's a 29-year-old male that was registered independent.
Yeah.
And apparently everybody that shoots somebody writes stuff on their bullets now. Short of that, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the card here and also be like, Tylenol, please don't sue us. We do not think there is no conclusive information that Tylenol causes fascism. But fascists like to talk about Tylenol. So I want to talk about Tylenol. Is there any hope for public health in the future after what they announced the other day?
Well, I think we're seeing coalitions of states banding together. And I think that's the answer for a lot of this stuff is that, they want to destroy the federal government and that's what they're doing. So we're going to have to come up with new systems. And that's one sliver of hope, I guess. But
Hey, Nadia, yeah, let's talk about Tylenol because RFK Jr. says it's the cause of autism, even though
like he's acknowledged that there's many potential causes of autism, but I'll tell you one thing, it ain't Tylenol, and I'll tell you something else. The major cause of autism, drum roll, autistic people having sex. That's what causes it. Amazing. This is just another sort of just distraction from anything. And really, RFK's job is to dismantle the Department of Health rather than actually run it. He's not really interested in anything having to do with facts or data. It's just to sort of, inundate people with directives that have absolutely no basis in reality. The repealing of vaccine mandates in Florida, I think, is sort of like what we have to look forward to in places that are less blue. And I'm using air quotes because it's whatever. But the thing is, if vaccines get rolled back, it doesn't really matter that it's, some states, require them, whereas others don't. Herd immunity doesn't mean like that. It would only work if people never went to another state. And that's not going to happen. So the herd immunity that other states may have is going to be severely impacted by ones nearby that don't have the vaccine mandates. And as far as the Tylenol, it's also a way to sort of put it on pregnant people to not use Tylenol, the singularly approved painkiller to take during pregnancy, or fever reducer. So it's like there's no clinical basis for this at all.
So to answer Nadia's question, I just assume that everybody as constantly online as the rest of us. Oh, Scott's here. But you're lucky you live in Canada. Hey, Scott, because RFK Jr., he had said back this spring that he was by September going to reveal the cause of autism. And it's Tylenol. If pregnant women take Tylenol, it's going to cause autism, which doesn't make any sense. And all of the data, most of it, shows the opposite. So that's where we are.
Yeah. Well, once again, the MAGA party is, putting the onus for, some ill in society on women. It's not like they don't use this sort of playbook all the time. It's, I don't know. I really just want to swear a lot. when it
Feel
comes
free.
to,
This is a mature chat. You go nuts.
Well, I mean, just in a way that's doesn't make sense, because it all just really pisses me the fuck off, and like the stuff with abortion, women bleeding out in parking lots because of all this bullshit, and just it's just infuriating. It's just so ridiculous. You have, I watched snippet of the press conference, and I'm like, neither of you are fucking doctors. Neither of you have medical degrees. Like, who? I think practicing medicine without licensure is actually against the law. So let's add that to another list.
It was one of the hardest speeches I've ever seen Trump stumble through, too.
I can't watch him. I can't watch him more than like 30 minutes or 30 seconds.
He probably couldn't handle the big words.
Not only does he just not have a grasp on the subject matter, he doesn't. He really is in decline. He's like, he can't handle this anymore.
Yeah. I personally think they just jack him up on enough Adderall to get him through whatever public thing he needs to get through. And
I'd buy that.
It kind of reminds me, I don't know if anybody has read the book Blitzed, which discusses the drug use of Hitler during the Third Reich, and the widespread use of methamphetamine. And let's just be clear here. I'm not saying these things cause fascism, but when you really want to give a lot of energy, there you go. But as far as this like link that they're drumming up between this and autism, like I'm just thinking of Adriana Smith, honestly, the woman who was hooked up to machines for the majority. She was 6 weeks pregnant, went to the doctor.
And they made her go the whole term, even though the family didn't want it.
Yeah.
And the family had to pay for it.
Yeah, she could have. But the thing is, she went to the doctor and, they didn't give her the kind of test that would be necessary in order to detect and treat the thing that she was there for in the first place. Had that happened, then she would have been alive with her child. Instead, she was brain dead for, the majority of her pregnancy. And it's like, this is the kind of outcome that more of that is going to happen. We already have children having children because they're in states that don't have any sort of exemptions. So on top of that, have this draconian, ridiculous link to autism. And by the way, autism isn't bad anyway. It's not an illness. So it's not like something you can contract like a cold. It's ridiculous to frame it this way. I'm certainly not casting it as a superpower either, but to link these two things and one thing causes a bad thing is just, it does absolutely nothing.
Know why they're so fixated on it either. That just kind of came to me. I'm like, why are they so fixated on this one thing? And yes, treating it like it's a disease that can be, treated or prevented or something, when anybody with half a brain knows it's genetics.
Right.
That vaccine thing, thoroughly debunked. There's no evidence that Tylenol is harmful like this, so it's just, I don't know.
There's also been extensive studies done about Tylenol and this potentiality of it being linked to other postnatal things. They had massive study done in Japan of 200,000 people. And it's and they also sort of do, especially with people with siblings, because they share a genetic,
Yeah, sure.
material. But then it's like, then they still can't find a link. So they really went out of their way to try to, see, it's not a hypothesis when you're trying to prove something, you go into something where it's like you're open to it not being true. But, that's another thing that's so unscientific about this is that, there's no scientific literacy. There's like a slight correlation, which is like nothing. You can correlate anything to anything, statistically.
Did these people eat carrots while they were pregnant? Well,
Exactly.
carrots cause autism.
Well,
And-
RFK just outright lies all the time.
Mhm.
Like there was some debunked. Somebody was going through, and I think it might have been John Oliver's show or something, where he's like 50% of people in China have diabetes, and it's just like that doesn't even make sense to begin with, and it's like a 12% or something,
Right.
like
There's also
normal...
like confounding factors as well, where you can't not people can't always measure for the amount of Tylenol people take because it's so common, and what else people are taking at the same time, to sort of like say that no other factors could have contributed to them having autism. Absolutely nothing except for the Tylenol is so dubious.
Yeah.
And the way I understand it, it was only ever recommended for women with high fevers. And then Trump gets in there and he's like, well, if you can't tough it out. Well, here's the problem, though. If a woman has a high fever with a baby and it's high enough, you're
That's
literally
bad.
cooking the baby. You can cook your own brain, and you can definitely cook your child's brain if you don't reduce that fever. So even if there was some like tiny, small percentage chance of autism,
Yeah.
it's still good in that
I would take the
situation.
risk.
Yeah.
Definitely would rather have an autistic child than a dead one,
Mhm.
And
Well, these things, there's risks with everything. It's,
yeah.
it's like the vaccine thing. Like there is a risk, but the benefit based on what we know about it greatly outweighs the risk,
Yeah.
And to your earlier point, I think it is just, this is just, they need a distraction every day. It's some new distraction
Everything's a distraction.
to get away
Also-
from that. We know that the fucking president is a goddamn pedophile and an
You know.
adjudicated rapist and all these things. That doesn't seem to
Except
matter
that-
to his followers. But anyways,
Additionally,
Sorry.
we have like autism is one of the targets of the Third Reich classically. Like that's where
Really?
Asperger's comes from, because they wanted to demarcate the highly functional autistic people from the low functioning. So it's a way to sort of separate out who is deemed productive and smart and who is, not functioning. And this is like one of the culling mechanisms is autism, because, if you are a high support needs person, you are probably not working. And that is, so it's, and he even mentioned like camps, did he not? To like, work camps.
I can't keep up on all the
I
crap
didn't
they say,
hear
but
about this one.
So-
Well, that nice big
Um,
ice budget.
but
well,
you just reminded me.
yeah.
What were you going to say, Adam?
She was talking about separating the productive members from the unproductive members. And I think that was something RFK said a while back about like, oh, the people with autism can't lead a normal life and blah, blah, blah. You know?
He did say that.
So it's kind of that thing to like, they're just a burden, they.
Same
But
with,
anyways, sorry.
addicts. He expressly said, people that are addicted to those that are ADHD, allegedly addicted to stimulants, those who are addicted to opioids and antidepressants should go to wellness camps. And along with those,
Really?
Yes.
He's saying something about people addicted to opioids.
This was back in April.
Or did he-
Yeah.
We're all supposed to forget he had a needle in his arm for 16 years.
Yeah, you are. But Vanessa, you had mentioned
I can't
what was
forget.
formerly known as Asperger's a minute ago, which is one thing that's like so misunderstood. Oh, there's so much more autism today. It used to be 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 30. It's because of two major factors. One, we got really good at diagnosing it and diagnosing it early in kids. It's always been there. But before that, in the like 70s or before, it was just the weird kid in class. But the second major piece is disorders like Asperger's and a couple others that were lumped in, and the definition of autism changed. So you had more people with more disorders of what they would have called it before, just lumped into this one category instead of many now. So that's what a lot of people seem to forget in, like, it's not that there are more people per capita with autism now. It's that we've expanded the definition of autism and we've figured out how to pick out the people with autism better.
Right.
Yeah. Well, these are the same people said that, if we don't test for COVID, then COVID doesn't exist anymore. So
yep.
That's the thing about trying to parse out anything logically that comes from
I don't believe that
MAGA,
they're releasing COVID numbers anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's all. Those people have been fired.
If you don't collect them or report them, they don't happen.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's,
we can divert hurricanes.
Just give me better numbers. It's all about better numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been on this one for about 15 minutes. Let's talk real quick about what started me on this podcasting journey last week. The FCC chair, Brendan Carr, coming in and trying to use bullying of the federal government to completely erase the First Amendment and tell ABC they had to fire Kimmel. And then they did. But now he's back. Sort of. So what do you guys make about this, both on the end of, like, how complicit is Disney? What do we see coming from the FCC down the pike? Yeah, let's just start with those two.
Well, as far as him, I think most anyone can see that it was the government pressuring ABC. We're in agreement on that, right? It wasn't because of low ratings, as they were trying to claim. I think I was thinking about this earlier. Back in my day, we had a phrase, and it was money talks and bullshit walks. And I think Disney lost projected $4 billion in the week or whatever. So I think that was, they decided they're going to roll the dice on bringing him back versus what Trump's going to do or threaten. Of course, Trump always chickens out. So if you defy him, there's a good chance you're going to come out okay. So I think they just looked at everything. They're businessmen, and what's going to be the most profitable move, that's what they did,
I want to agree, but ABC's already 16 million in the hole to Trump after, what was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing with Stephanopoulos. How dare you call the president something he actually is? So unfortunately, I could see something like that happening here, except that they might try to go, the same route, like, oh, if you want this merger approved, but Disney's not trying to merge with anybody.
No, but some of the ABC affiliates are. The Nexstar group that owns like a quarter of the ABC stations, which is now, when I say Kimmel's back, sort of, it's because he's been blacked out in a whole bunch of markets, including, I think I saw yours in the map, Scott, amongst other places.
That is true. I actually was seeing that in Google, but I don't watch him on TV anyway. I just watch YouTube the next day. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like there's nowhere you can go. And I mean, I feel like it's still like a stretch because they literally have to rewrite the FCC's rules to let that merger go through, because oddly enough, one station or one company is not supposed to own, a majority of TV stations or affiliates in the country. We used to have this whole thing where, we were against monopolies. But I think it was Jim Cramer at one point actually pointed out, well, now instead we have oligopolies where a handful of companies will control one industry, and that's not better.
Well, the last time we broke up monopolies was under friggin' Reagan.
What did I see? What did Robert Reich posted? It used to be 50 media companies, and now we're down to 5. You know,
Sounds about right.
yeah. Well,
Mhm.
do you remember? Are you old enough to remember? I don't know. I'm not that old, but anyways, when
Everybody here
at
is
the
in
end
their
of
40s.
okay,
We're all old.
sorry, young people listening or watching at home, but remember who was it was at the end of Clinton's presidency, right? And they were talking about trying to break up Microsoft. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then Bush Jr. got into office and all that went away. So yeah. I don't know. It's dire in a way, but I think that it's also it's kind of like you got streaming now, you've got Spotify, the way that media is consumed is changing. Look what we're doing here. This is probably collectively, I mean, the amount of people doing podcasts and things now. I don't know. I don't watch legacy media really or consume media in that way. So I really just go to I'll read like AP news stories and that sort of thing to try to stay informed. But sorry,
Yeah,
I don't know where I was
Kimmel and
going with all that. I don't
Yeah,
Kimmel and
But-
Colbert going away doesn't affect me. I don't really watch them anymore, but it's the way they're getting caught that's the problem.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
the free speech issue.
it also speaks to me. It speaks to how, like, as terminally online as this administration is, constantly tweeting, constantly going on rants, they are still targeting media that's like 20, 30 years behind the times. Who the fuck in amongst we're of the older generation, like we're the parents, right? And it's like we're not watching this shit.
Yeah.
I just find that so interesting. Like as far as like what this means going forward, I just feel like Jimmy Kimmel is one of the largest albatrosses for this cause to, go after. And I think it was too much too soon. And it was a miscalculation on their part. But I feel like, other journalists such as Joyanne Reed or Don Lemon or folks that are not as white and mediocre as Jimmy Kimmel still don't have a job. There's, the job market has been such that 300,000 Black women are no longer employed. And now the unemployment rate is ridiculous. Like this one guy has become like a flashpoint. And even in his monologue, like I listened to the whole thing. Granted, it was open Mike Eagle talking over it, but
Wow.
again, I didn't watch it on his YouTube, but like he talked endlessly about other hosts that came out and reached out to him, and the network was so great. Oh, and then the audience, and it's like those are the people that you need to thank for having your job back. The perspective simply isn't there. And if it was anybody less him, it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have made a blip on anybody's radar.
Are you saying he just needs girls jumping on trampolines?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, these people are comedians, and that's what Trump is pissed about because they fucking make fun of them. You know what I mean? It's not even like I don't know.
He's not just thin skinned. He wears like an inch thick layer of bronzer on his face because he's literally transparent.
Didn't Trump himself say he's thin skinned? That he has thin skin?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, I think I saw a video where he said that. But yeah, it's part of like one of the good and bad things about the presidency, and they're all freaking war criminals, but they are all able to take a joke And this one cannot for the life of him. He is a walking joke, and he
Have
simply
you ever seen
cannot
the
hear
man
it.
laugh? Once in all the thousands of hours of footage of Trump, I have never
I
once
don't even
seen
like
that
seeing
man
him
laugh.
smile.
He fake smiles all the time, but he's never laughed, not once. I wish
He
I
could
had
be laughing
gotten-
privately today. I happened to see a thing on Google, a Google alert, like in my news. Like he finally got an indictment against Comey. For
Yeah,
as
that
far as
just
I can
popped
tell,
up. I
Saw that
investigating.
today.
I've
Yeah,
got
two-
that.
two
We'll
count-
talk about
two
that in a
counts.
little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just popped up here in the last few hours. But I
Mhm.
want to take that. I wish I had gotten a clip of Tucker Carlson's laugh, like the Joker
Oh, God.
at the funeral of
That's
Charlie
so
Kirk. I want to shift into the most bizarre memorial service for a person
Oh my god.
that has ever been.
Dude.
And
was a
we're gonna
memorial?
start. I've got a clip.
I don't know. I
of
kind
the-
of want to be sent off like that. Sorry.
I've got a clip of the actual event here. So hold.
You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness. You are jealousy. You are envy. You are hatred.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. That was the wrong clip. Let's try again.
Meine Arbeit für richtig hältst. Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe.
Yes, that is the correct one, and I think we can all agree that sauerkraut's bullshit.
I couldn't hear it.
Fucking Pee Wee German, man. Fuck that guy.
Well, the things that were said, like, I don't even have any specific questions. It was such a bizarre thing. So you've
Where
got
was
the
his
widow.
family? Where
Yeah,
was
his like
family?
other than his
Right?
wife, who
It wasn't
came
about
out like a
them.
WWE star, and then like
Oh, God, yeah.
it just turns into the weirdest fascist baby's day out ever.
Man, I know that when you don't think that these people can get any more trashy, ridiculous, and there is absolutely no fucking bottom for these people. Like, they were selling like merch and shit. Like,
Yeah.
the fuck, man. Like, I don't know. It's again, I
Yeah.
try to make sense of it, and I just want to say fuck a lot and a lot of other words, but
Man, I hope you guys can profit off me like that when it's my time to go.
I wouldn't mind having fireworks at my funeral. That's kind of cool, but don't be selling t-shirts with my dead face on it, you know.
The only thing it was missing was the UFC octagon,
Yeah.
you know, and they would like
Well,
That's
prop
supposed to be
up
next year.
Charlie's body or something, and like that's what you win.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
It was
don't know,
it
man.
was just a nationalist, Christian nationalist fascist rally.
Yeah.
There was very little in terms of sentiment, if any. And you know what's interesting is a lot of these people probably didn't even know who the hell this guy was. The political action committee, yes, but Charlie Kirk himself and actually like listened to the man talk, I don't think so. Even human beings that I know personally are like, wow, what a guy. And it's like, I don't think you've ever heard him talk. You are just, it's like the Korean, there's this tradition in certain countries where you pay people to mourn for you and they make a big show of it. They cry a lot. And you go, woo! It's like a lot of wailing. You like professional wailers to sort of give everybody else the impression that this person was super well liked and loved. And that's what this is. But, you know, of course, Trump can't do it because when he was asked, I don't think he cares at all about Charlie Kirk at all. Even his
Well,
wife.
that's what
Not
Kimmel
a-
got in trouble for, right?
Exactly.
Basically saying you're
Not
off
a single
golfing.
cheer. That was the thing that drove me nuts. It's like, what are you apologizing for, sir? You told the like basic facts that they're weaponizing this for political reasons.
I mean, maybe
So-
a white nationalist, the Christian nationalist rally I mean, was the right way to honor Charlie Kirk because that's the shit he stood for, right?
Well,
I mean,
You're not wrong there.
a lot of people said
Yeah.
that. They're like, oh, he would have loved it, But that
Scott,
shit
is
gets
there
me
any
where they're
chance
like,
you
he
can turn your
didn't.
phone down? It's like it's feeding back, or if your echo cancellation's off or something.
It's like his final words were a racist dog whistle, and the
Right.
thing that they're going after, generally, regardless of who did it or whatever the circumstances are, it's like we got to target the left and the trans and the gays and the women and Tylenol. And
Yeah.
it's just so disconnected from reality. It's ridiculous that it's almost like forces you to disengage because there's no relationship to anything real going on. And they even had fireworks.
Yeah.
But not
Well,
just
that's what she
fireworks.
came
Like
out.
fireworks at a funeral could be something, but this was like WWE entrance stuff, like at a metal concert in the backstage kind of stuff. It's
And
it's
hey,
weird.
in certain places, like in New Orleans, they have like the jazz funeral where it's like really boisterous and loud. In certain cultures, it's not unheard of to have like a really like extravagant and even bordering on disrespectful body things going on. Some people, I remember seeing a video in somewhere where somebody was having a funeral and there were strippers there. So it's not unheard of to like go over the top with it, but that wasn't they weren't doing it for Charlie Kirk. They were doing it for this Turning Point action committee. It had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, no,
It's
it
all about
felt very
donations.
performative. Yeah, and the other thing, he was worth like 12 million when he died, and his wife is doing a GoFundMe, and they raised like $5 million. It's like, the fuck does a millionaire need to be doing a GoFundMe? Like, it
And
just
now
makes it seem very apparent that it's like, you guys are fucking psychopaths, like. But
And now his wife is the head of an organization that doesn't think women should be outside the home.
Yeah, shouldn't she be in the
figured
kitchen?
That out.
What's up with
Shouldn't go to
that?
college, even though she has a doctorate. This makes sense. This makes so much sense. I love
But
the
feminism
timeline
is
of
ruining the country.
I just want to ask quickly, how is Stephen Miller younger than me? How does that work?
Right? He's younger than
it's
all
weird.
of us.
Yes,
He's
it's
so
weird.
he looks like Mr. Burns.
Wouldn't
My
they
running
show,
joke with him. Sorry, my running joke with him
no.
is that I used to call him Grandma Wormtongue because he's just this disgusting little guy whispering in the ear of this old sick king. But then I decided that's not a fair comparison because Grandma Wormtongue has hair.
Oh,
No, didn't they show was it Brendan Carr or whatever? He's like my age and he looks like he's like 60 something. I think that was him. I can't remember.
I don't know how old he. I thought he was a little older, but I'm not sure.
Maybe it is older. It was one of those guys, and I thought it said he was 46.
Oh my God, he's 46.
I didn't fact check.
Are you
I didn't
kidding
fact
me?
check. Is he really?
Yes.
I'm remembering correctly.
At least according
Okay,
to
yeah,
Google. Oh my God,
age.
that dude looks like he's 60 or more.
Yeah. Well, you've seen the comparisons. It's like, hey, ages you apparently. And then on the female side, you have the Mar-a-Lago effect. I'm sure you guys have seen those comparisons, right? Just like how every woman in the MAGA movement apparently has the same plastic surgery and like looking like a ghoul is like attractive or something. I don't know. It's superficial
Yeah,
shit.
they look
But
great.
I
for
find it funny.
137.
Yeah, Laura Loomer is like 32, and she looks like she's our age.
Jigsaw. That's what I always think of.
It's the work she had done. It's like all the cheek and the Botox, and it's like when you get all of that and a lot of that, you look like another human being.
Yeah. Have you guys been watching any of the new season of South Park?
Yeah, that was great with that Brendan Carr episode today, and
I haven't
JD
watched the new
Vance.
one.
More gifts for the baby, Bob. Oh my God, I love little JD Vance.
I just love that this season is just about taking the piss out of MAGA, basically. Almost like somebody was hypothesizing they're actually trying to get sued by Trump. But
after 27 seasons, they're still super freaking relevant.
yeah.
Okay.
But,
well, I guess before we get into any more heavy stuff, let's talk about this awesome piece of art that somebody made and put up in DC of Trump and Epstein.
Right. For a second, I didn't even think that was real.
No,
I thought there was no way this could actually
very,
be a
very
thing.
real.
I thought it was AI at first. I actually had to look it up and authenticate it, but thank God, because there was also that statue of Trump with the Bitcoin that was put up, so this had to go up.
Yeah,
it had to.
Oh man. Well, it's great, it's a great satirization and to show how ridiculous these fucking people are,
Well, there's so many pictures of them together. Maybe not skipping and holding hands.
Well, that's why.
But there's so many pictures of them together. They are best friends.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know.
And they look to be laughing.
Kudos to the people that pull these things off.
They're sharing a beautiful secret.
I think the name of the group was Shaking Hands Society. Went to the
art
department.
Oh, so somebody did.
So they went. Yeah, just a couple changelings about the link. Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
It just reminds me of you've seen the big inflatable baby Trump that gets passed around.
Yep.
Yeah, that sort of. I love that stuff. First Amendment.
It's great art. So I guess one of the other just really odd things for an administration that wants to kick out all the immigrants, we're also sealing $1 million citizenships, gold cards. Whoops, not me, him.
Oh man.
You sure you're not in the business of selling citizenship, Dustin?
I'm yeah, give me $1 million. I'll find a way to make you a citizen. That sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking that anybody running for higher office needs to take the same test that people who become citizens have to take, because I'd like to think I'd be able to pass it. I'm not a scholar of any sort, but I know the basics, but that test is actually pretty hard. And I bet a lot of people in government, especially our current federal government, wouldn't even be able to pass it. So I think that would be a good litmus test.
And making people answer more questions. And I took a sample one, and I only got about 70% of them.
Well, there's
some
talked about the H-1Bs, which are specifically for employers to bring folks from other countries to here, and that was specifically, I think has something to do with the Hyundai ICE raid. I believe it was in Georgia. Maybe wrong about that, but the thing is about when you open up a manufacturing plant in another country, what you need there are people from that country to help you understand the operation. They may not be around for too long, but they need to help you figure out the systems and everything.
Yeah.
So it's that transitional team was all kicked out. So it's the whole operation is fucked. And this is how you get a depression. You want a depression? This is how you get it.
Well, to my understanding, they were the robotics team, because there's actually not people trained in this country to set up the robotics that they used in their factory. And some racist, I can't remember her name. I think she's running for the legislature in her state, But as we know, she
I
made
don't know how
a report
true
to
if
ICE.
that is. There, I've seen some things too where a lot of people were making the supposition that she just took credit for it in the aftermath, like it happened, and she's like, "Yeah, I called that in. See, I'm taking care of the people of Georgia."
Something to take credit for.
Makes sense if she's running, she's trying to glom onto something. But I mean, what we've seen with ICE is they don't. That's the other thing. They're like, well, if you have, your papers, you're fine. Well, no, what they do is they fucking body slam you first, then fucking cuff you and stuff you, and then you have to prove who you are after they do all that, just based on a suspicion, which the Supreme Court ruled that's fine now, apparently, is if you look,
Right. Racial profiling is now legal.
It's okay to have your fucking civil rights completely trampled on, but.
And what Nadi said, the other part of this announcement and the signing here in the Oval Office was them announcing that H-1B visas by companies are going up to $100,000. So if you want to come here as like a guest doctor and practice, you got to fork out $100,000.
Yeah. Per year, I saw.
That's an annual fee.
That's insane for for a job that might pay that if you're lucky.
Yeah. No, well, we're making America great again, guys. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, the dollar has lost. I read that the other day. The dollar has lost about 10% of its value since Trump took over.
Yeah. So, similar to RFK having no business in the Department of Health, and it's clear that his job is to dismantle it. Trump's job is to destroy the economy so that because rich people love depressions, they love recessions. They will go ahead, he'll hire whoever will yap about like good job numbers just to keep his approval ratings up, which is a fool's errand because there's many other unlikable things about him. But like his job is to destroy the economy so that he can reap the reward. He can buy up all the land people can't afford to live on anymore. The private equity firms will continue their chainsaw progress through neighborhoods and everything. It's not just gentrification, it's private equity. This guy is bought and sold. He is in the business of ripping everybody's land and things that they love from underneath them. That's his goal.
Yeah. Well, hostile takeover, you acquire and then you gut and you sell off what's left. And some people were talking about that, like farmers aren't getting a bailout this time because the rich people want that land to become cheap so they can, and that's really the agenda. You have this faction of the tech bros that don't believe in democracy anymore, and that's what they want to do is they want to get us all under their thumb. And I don't know, we need the only hope is that somehow we can have a fair election next year and get enough people in Congress to actually like fight against this shit. But
there's Congress people in there now.
Yeah,
doing a fucking thing.
Yeah, are we gonna have a free and fair election? Well, you've seen that Oregon, Trump, they're suing Maine and Oregon because we won't hand over our voter rolls to them. Why the fuck do they want the voter rolls? Why do they want the voter rolls? It's very clear that the states are in charge of the elections,
And also gerrymandering, that it's yeah. Anyway, sorry, Scott.
I'm going to move on to another question. Scott, is there any chance you can mute when you're not talking? Or is that going to be problematic on your phone? Okay. That's so much better. I'm sorry. It's just like it is just feeding back whatever Vanessa or Adam or I say. So, let's talk about Escalator Gate. Old man forgets how stairs work and then won't shut up about it. This, like, I saw this on I when I go to the gym now, I actually watch Fox News on purpose just to see what
Jesus,
kind of
man.
stupid crap they're saying, and also because the audio feed from CNN doesn't work. So yeah, and like they were
It's all
going
part of the
on
conspiracy.
and on about how like, oh, the world is making Trump look bad. No, the only person that ever makes Trump look bad is Trump. And as we come to find out, it was probably a videographer on the White House staff, and his own White House staff ran the teleprompter, so he only hires the best people. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
And
Well, facts are irrelevant.
UN said that the escalator stopped because there was something caught in the mechanism of the escalator. There was a safety thing that was triggered, so it stopped the escalator. It's a Mitch Hedberg joke. It's a Mitch Hedberg joke.
Well, the way I understand it, what happened is it has like a sensor. If somebody starts going backwards, it like the videographer did to get a better angle. He'd like gone up too many stairs, then he tried to come back down, and it sensed it as maybe somebody getting like pulled into the mechanism. So
Yeah.
it stopped. It auto stopped, and then Trump like went off on it's anybody else's fault but anybody around him.
Yeah.
Scares
Well,
are
that's
hard.
I read a snippet where he was like, we could have been seriously injured. We could have fallen forward onto those sharp stairs and blah blah blah.
He could use the exercise. Get your
Oh, I
fucking
can't
ass
get
up
up.
there.
I think that was probably the most offensive thing to him, is that he actually had to fucking exert himself.
It's a good thing the
but-
first lady's in such good shape, and I'm in such good shape, frankly, was what he said as part of his speech at the UN. After that, it's like,
You know,
you are? Really?
in typical right-wing fashion, he's also appropriating liberatory language and using it incorrectly. Like when they say woke and have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Similarly, when sabotage is singularly about, it's literally like sabot. It comes from the word sabot, which is shoe. Throwing shoes into machines is where it comes from. And to like make the manufacturing stop. That's what factory workers did to protest, unfair conditions and bad pay in France. It comes from that. So it's just so perfect that he used that word, because of course he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, and then the teleprompter thing where, the teleprompter's not working, and they're like, actually, your aides are the one who's are responsible for the teleprompter.
Yeah, it had just worked for the person before him, and then his aides controlled it, and they couldn't do their job.
Yeah.
So,
and then I saw the bit where he's telling these other countries that they're going to hell because of their immigration policy, and we're really doing it right, and we're the hottest country around, and all this bullshit.
Apparently, he has like beef with the UN because of a real estate issue. I don't remember exactly the details of that committed to memory, but it does kind of like color the fact that such minor stupid things, it's just like the world is over. He's really King Snowflake. I just can't imagine any sort of technical difficulties like this just melting somebody down like that.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, imagine if any other person in their day like had an escalator stop and was just like, this is a conspiracy against me, like you'd be like, get him to the fucking insane asylum.
You know what video I recently watched was Bush throwing up into the Japanese prime minister's lap.
Yeah.
He looked so poorly. He just looked like so like passed out almost. And Barbara
Bush Senior, right?
Right. Yes.
Wasn't that Bush Senior puked? Yeah. Something about broccoli.
Puked. Yeah. And it's like, he didn't say, hey, this broccoli, it's like a conspiracy. Someone tried to poison me. It was just embarrassing for him, and he kept it pushing, Yeah.
Well, I think things that happen like that, that's almost like, oh, you're a human being who has foibles, just like everyone. You know what I mean? But this thin-skinned piece of shit can't just laugh about it and carry on
Yeah,
with his
because he
day.
can't be a human.
No,
No.
definitely not. Fuck.
Yeah, and like Republicans have just they've got a thing for against the UN. They have for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, the UN's
Well,
pretty
I mean,
worthless in the grand
we
scheme of
constantly
things.
veto ceasefires with Gaza. Constantly.
Yeah.
That's what we use our veto power for. The last time they did it, the woman even wore a red blazer. It's like, wow, really nail on the head there.
We're one of the only major countries now that has not recognized Palestine's right to exist. Cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get caught up in that. There's too much stateside here and not too much more time to do this thing. So in the other list of things made up because Trump is mad because people did their job and he happened to be on the ass end of it. So when the attorney for the U.S. attorney for Virginia, who was tasked with investigating Letitia James here, the New York State attorney, who came after Trump for like the hundreds of millions in the fraud case, and now he fired the DOJ U.S. attorney of Virginia because he couldn't find anything on Letitia James. So now he put in another one of his personal attorneys. I can't remember her name, and I don't care to. And she's also being this same woman is not only being tasked with, oh, well, we gotta find something on her and get her, but she's also the one who's gonna prosecute Comey and look in with that. Just serve those indictments on him today. So yeah, it's this is the most like blatant misuse of power, and I know Republicans are all like, oh, but Biden did it to him. No.
Yeah.
Trump did bad things, and we knew going into it what he did. He kept some files that all he had to do was return them and not lie to the National Archive. He had more than a year to return them. He got his house raided because he's an idiot. And then he committed mortgage fraud. So, yeah. And now he's just like, but they don't have anything against these people. They're just like, all right, well, we're going to look into them and we'll find the crime. We'll get them. All just because he was inconvenienced at some point in his life by these people.
Yeah. Oh, the mortgage fraud thing, they've levied that against a few people, haven't they? Didn't they try to go after
Schiff?
Was it Schiff? I was going to say it was Schiff, right?
I can't remember the third person in that.
Yeah, it's just a tired playbook as always. Do we know what Comey's been charged with? I just saw the tweet and it was like charged with 2 felonies, blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, a felony, obviously felonies are severe, but there's a
lying to
range.
Congress. I'll bring up I'll bring it up from NBC's reporting. Indictments on 2 counts, making a false statement and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. Something about testimony he gave to the Senate Judiciary Committee back in 2020 about testimony he gave in 2017.
I mean,
I'm not going to go into the whole
the obstruction of a congressional hearing, that could be literally anybody in Trump's cabinet.
Literally everybody that's ever had gone to Congress. They just sit there. They're like,
hey,
what do you mean? I plead the fifth.
Anything about the Epstein files, anything about anything.
I do not recall.
What's your phone number? Like,
well, what about all these people that get subpoenaed and never showed up? Isn't that obstruction of a? So basically, you got like a general vague thing on that, and then like a perjury type of charge.
Well, you have to remember, this is rules for me, rules for thee, and not for me. Yeah. It's just
always has been.
That's how fascism goes. We're going, like, I just remember, DHS saying that, according to the Constitution, they can wear masks, which is just the funniest thing considering how this administration reacted to the COVID pandemic, but also it's like, talking about the Constitution at all. You should be struck by lightning immediately. It's just so ridiculous to invoke that, but that's how they see it. It's their weapon, not for you to use to defend yourself.
Yeah. Well, they cherry pick the Constitution like they cherry pick the Bible, whatever. It's just like you see from these, you see from the conservative judges, they're contextualists when that benefits them. And then when the other position benefits them, then that's how they rule. There's no consistency there. So.
And in the same vein, we've one of his truths, which I mean, God, how do you own a social media website as president called Truth Social, and 90% of it is either lies or illegal things done out in the open? There was a time when it was salacious and scandalous when Obama went, or when who was Holder. When the head of the DOJ, Eric Holder, went to his birthday party and they talked, and that was scandalous because you can't be seen talking with the head of the DOJ because you might be plotting. Meanwhile, he tells Pam Bondi in a truth that she needs to go after his enemies.
Yeah.
I have not ever heard something so anti-American as this right here.
Or at least not in the open. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Political enemies have been, exterminated in the past and assassinated, for example, and so that's not. But Trump is not graceful about it. He will just post it as a show of how little regard for anything that he can have. It's a flex for him to do this. He even said, I can shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square and nobody can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like that power has been exercised many times over already.
Well, the Supreme, if can be argued in court that's within his presidential duties, then the Supreme Court's ruled that he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We're just in this postmodernist hellscape trying to make sense of it all.
Late stage capitalism / fascism.
Yeah,
it's great. I love living at this point in history. We all grew up in the 90s and we're all things were good. And we had this rosy view of the future, and now we're here. Cool.
I don't know. I feel like we were just sort of ignorant of the things that were working against us. I think we're getting a very rude awakening as to what exactly America is all about, because even in the 90s, Clinton was using terms like super predators and signing away manufacturing jobs to other countries. The slide was well on its way. And even before that with Reagan, and even before that with Nixon, with the war on drugs, this is a long time coming for sure.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that if you want to talk about America's flaws, people on the right just were like, oh, if you don't love this country, get out. And it's just no, I love my fucking country. I consider myself a true patriot because I believe in the framework that was laid out. And I think that's the key. And I want America to rise to the thing that it aspires to in those documents. But it's just this country has a fucked up history because it's filled with people, right? But Trump wants to erase slavery out of the museums and not talk about anything bad.
That's definitely by design, because we're coming up on an age where we already have codified legal slavery in the Constitution itself. So, slavery, chattel slavery is abolished, except as punishment for a crime, right? Yep. So what's a crime in that now? What's a crime? Going to a protest, telling Trump to go fuck himself? what's a crime anymore? Like what defines a crime is what the state says, like, okay, violence is going to be the response to this. We forfeited access to violent means to the state, and then they make the rules, and then we're supposed to be told violence is never the answer while we're being clomped on by fucking horses. It's like what a crime is expanding by definite, because the expanding slave class is inevitable under this. That's their goal, is to round people up in order to have free labor.
Oh, that's what they're talking about, is
Mhm.
using people in
Yeah.
this detention to do the jobs that they were already doing. But now you can make them do it for nothing, you know?
Yeah. And
Oop.
cabinet are paying attention. That, like, as soon as you do something that's in accordance with the laws, you understand it, and not from your dear leader, this is the consequence. That you will become a political target. You will be threatened with legal action and jail time. I hope people are paying attention, because yeah.
Well, that's what they don't get, you know? It's just like, once we know where this is going, because we've paid attention at least a little bit to history, and that is that it doesn't stop. Once all the Jews are rounded up, it didn't stop. You go on to the next, well, you know, the unproductive autistic people and old people, or what have you, you know?
Yeah.
There's always another other, and othering is these people's favorite thing to do in the world.
Because they have no policies. You can't
Right.
run a country on, what they actually want to do. If they actually came out and said, and Bernie Sanders actually talked about this, and I have my misgivings about him due to his sort of waffling on calling a genocide, but like, he said, if Republicans came out and said to your face, like, we're gonna jack up prices of this, or of rent really high, and we're going to make less programs accessible to you, how do you like that? You can't sell it that way. So how do you sell it? You look at people that are financially disenfranchised, because of course we are. We're in capitalism, that there has to be an underclass, there has to be an unpaid or underpaid underclass, and you tell them it's the immigrants, it's political enemies, it's trans people, blah blah blah, it has to be somebody else. That's the main modality of your forward movement. That's why it's so frantic and so kinetic, and why they're constantly doing something, because it's all smoke and mirrors to cover up for the fact that they can't do anything actually worthwhile.
What have they passed? The big beautiful bill. I think that's the only real legislation that's come out.
Yeah,
takes away a bunch of Medicare and funds DHHS with more money than the Russian military.
Yeah. And it doesn't kick in until the midterms. That's by design. So now they're going to turn around and say, look, under these people's watch, this thing happened, and they will fully turn around and lie about who voted for what and what the goal of this bill was.
Yeah.
And who pushed it. They will completely lie. And that's what happens when you have fascists as coworkers. They're not your coworkers. They're like, that's what I would want to tell these like, politicians. These are not your colleagues. These are not your coworkers. Unless you're in the same pocket, then I guess they are. And then might as well come out of the closet as a fellow fascist, or put them, say,
out of the closet, grinder users.
Yeah. Just put the money away and say, you know what? This is not a coworker. This is a fascist, and regard them as such. And stop playing patty cake with them. They're not your friends. This Obama reach across the aisle bullshit with fascists? No.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, really, on just the Democrats. I mean, even look at when they nominated Merrick Garland, to the Supreme Court. and they just completely let the Republicans railroad them. They're like, well, we don't have the majority, we can't do anything. And it's like, oh, it seems like even when they don't have the majority, they seem to fucking stop you guys. Like, I just don't. Oh, again, it's, they're funded from a lot of the same people. So how much fight is really there? When I look
But
at
the real question is, where's that funding from Antifa coming from?
yeah, I'm waiting on my check.
Where
man.
are all the wood nickels coming from?
Or the anti-ice.
Yes. I know that what we were talking about
Common
earlier. I'm
sense.
like, when did it become standard procedure for the director of the FBI to be tweeting fucking evidence in a
Within half an
investigation
hour
that's
of
like
a
a
murder.
day old? Yeah.
Not even.
like,
he was tweeting within a couple hours of it
Was it?
happening.
I was at work, I guess, so I missed it. But I'm
It's
just like,
never happened before. Not once.
No.
Yeah.
Usually they don't want the media to find out because they don't want to contaminate the investigation. It's just like, oh man. And you hope, the hope is that these bad policies will get these people to wake the fuck up. Well, look at fucking Kentucky, look at these red states. I work with a woman, she's from North Carolina. She's very progressive, but she'll talk about her dad being like, oh, he likes to smoke marijuana, and he's just like, oh, why can't we have it legalized? And it's like, these are the people you vote for, these are the policies you vote for, this is the result of that. And it just doesn't, it's baffling.
They're voting off of vibes.
And but Jesus Christ, like
yeah, no, I understand. And here's the thing, most human beings, they work their 9 to 5, they have some kids, and by the time they get home, they just want to relax. So the time that they have to take in information that would impact their lives in terms of electorate, like I literally just got a sample ballot in the mail because of an upcoming election in California. Prop 50 by BT Dubs to, temporarily redistrict in response to the Texans, losing their shit. But
I like it, but if Texas is going to do it, whatever, fine.
Right. And
at least somebody's trying to fight fire with fire. Fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, that's a lot of what Robbie and I talked about on the show last week. Was it's like, yeah, we hate the Republicans, but we don't like the Democrats either. They're not doing anything.
They're
after Kamala lost, they blamed us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys just didn't get it.
They blame people
for didn't have a plan.
They blame people for caring about a genocide and wanting to stop it. They thought that was like a fringe issue. And it's like, look around. You think nothing about that apartheid is having an impact in terms of policy, in terms of how they're dealing with us, this staging of crime scenes, the division of people, especially like immigrants and everything. It's like the way that they're treating people is already, due to redlining and redistricting and the school to prison pipeline in an apartheid. So it's like they're just ramping up these systems that are already there. Mm-hmm. And the imperial boomerang has made its full circuit at this point. So like that idea that they blame it on that, it's like, something, what would like, has anybody read or heard of Kamala's book?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I know it was just coming out.
Yeah,
and I don't care to read it.
Yeah, no, and the only she said that it was up to her to sort of hold the party line, in terms of that issue, knowing that it would cost her the election. So it's like it's this Samson option, this nuclear option of we can't back down on something that's going to actually make us lose, but we're going to blame other people for, the fact that we didn't win. Okay.
Yeah, exactly what.
I think it's very, to me, it's very clear why the Democrats didn't win. They completely fucking fumbled the election season. Oh, Biden's great, we're going to keep him. And then he had that disastrous performance, didn't hold a convention, just like, You're saying Trump is an existential threat to democracy. You're the Democrat Party, and you just installed someone as your candidate. Like, it's kind of hard to get like undecided or middle of the road or whatever fuck you want to call people. You know, I vote Democrat because generally those candidates align closer to my values than the other side. And I want to vote for a viable candidate. This is why I'm for ranked choice voting, because it leads to more viable candidates anyways. But to me, that's really where they fucked up, you know, is just like, come on, you guys, you're a political party. You've been doing this a long time. Who the fuck is running the show? Like,
Honestly, we
you know,
have one of the
Biden
oldest.
should have been one term,
Yeah.
which is what he said originally. I'm just gonna get in. He should have been one term. They should have fucking held him to it. They should have had a convention. Would that candidate have won? I don't know, but I mean, it would have been a lot better chance, I think.
I think we have one of the oldest working documents in the world in terms of the actual Constitution. Like, we have one of the oldest. It was not meant to be run and used to this degree and abused. We were supposed to update it, come up with a new founding document, and I think that is so desperately needed right now. This is an antiquated piece of toilet paper, essentially. Like, it just hasn't been respected and used in the way that it was intended anyway.
It is telling that there was amendments to it all through history right up until 50 years ago. We have had no new amendments to the Constitution since, I think, 1972.
Oh, no, it stops after 2, doesn't it?
We're going to find out. We are going to find out. If Trump's even alive in 2028, I have my doubts about that, but who knows?
I don't know.
He is not aging well, just like the Democratic Party. If Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are in there again, I am going to lose my friggin' mind.
Yeah, and another thing is that they keep rescinding support from Democratic candidates that win. They have pulled their, support from Zohran Mamdani. They've pulled their support from some other candidate in Minnesota that won. That was on a pro-Palestinian platform. It's like they are sabotaging their own party for this fucking cause.
Yeah.
It's
Have you
so vile.
Are you aware of Graham Plattner at all, who's running for Senate out here? I don't know if that's reached your
he's the first guy
social media sphere.
Actually kind of excited about in a really long time here in Maine.
Yeah.
He's running against Susan Collins because she's a disaster to both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, she's a real progressive.
She is the absolute definition of a political opportunist. She's not there for Maine. She's not there even for her party. She's just there to amass
money.
A network and make money for herself. She is the most worthless person. And I don't care that it's like, oh, every once in a while I get to cast a vote that makes me look like I'm not a complete fucking shitbag. But then the other 90% of the time she does. And she's like, but I'm very concerned about it.
Yeah.
And we are so sick of that here.
Yeah. But so Graham, he's running, he's trying to get the Democratic nomination to run for Senate, and he is a progressive. He's against the oligarchy. He has his bona fides. He's a veteran, oyster farmer. Anyways, I don't know if you've seen this. They're trying to get fucking Governor Mills to run the Democratic leadership. So right there, what you were talking about, like they're trying to fucking get somebody in with a name so that Graham can't win. And it's just
Mills is 77 now. If she runs and wins next year, that means by the end of a term in Senate, she will be 84 at the end of her first term. I like Janet, and I will not vote for her because of that reason.
Yeah. I'm going Graham all the way. You know, we need
if
these
he makes
people.
it, yeah, absolutely.
He's got
primary.
I know it's very early, but he's polling quite like 16 points ahead of Collins right now, something like that. But yeah, it's just disgusting. It's like, you have these old rich dudes, and they're career politicians, and that's where their interests lie. It's not in helping us. And it's something the Democratic Party is going to have to figure out how to fix, or we're going to end up with more of the same shit we got now.
Yeah.
But
Or here's my idea. This is not a new idea.
Grand
This
Platinum.
is I'm like,
Yeah, this is the guy.
Check him
He's
out. Check
running
him
for
out.
Senate.
I've donated to him a couple times already. I really think I'm like, this is what we need.
Ooh.
And as Maine goes, so goes the nation. That's an old saying. So one of my glimmers of hope is that we're going to get this guy in, and we'll get rid of Susan Collins, and we'll get another progressive voice in there to fight for working people. You know,
He looks like a lobsterman.
he's an oyster.
Yeah,
He's an
oyster
oyster. Runs an oyster
Man.
farm.
Okay, so it was close.
Yeah.
And he's
He
the
did
harbor
tours of-
master for I can't remember what town. So
Yeah, he's from
he
a
deals
small
with all the
town,
lobstermen too.
I have a
Yeah.
slightly different perspective. I don't believe that candidates, Democrat or Republican or even independent, are going to come swoop in and save us. I really don't.
Oh no.
I feel like we need to rely on each other. We need to get more acquainted with those around us, and see how we can get more involved in our communities, and see if we can contribute to mutual aids if they're nearby, see if there's any sort of jail support nearby in your city nearby, to see if anybody's being released that needs support. Sometimes they release people at like 3-4 in the morning. Like there's things to do between elections is all I'm saying. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
In between these elections, we just need to not start a civil war before the fucking.
Well,
next one.
it's already being declared on us. That's the problem. Like, it's not going to be, in this corner, these guys with these guns and bayonets, and in this corner, this color. It's not going to be like paintball game. It's already happening because we have the National Guard being deployed, mainly to do optics
Landscape.
and photo shoots, but
Nothing.
still, it's like. But then we have, Homeland Security going to immigration courts and ripping families apart right in front of them. There was a woman that was tackled in New York doing legal citizenship track the right way, and her husband was abducted from her. And it's like, that, what is that but not civil war? You know what I mean? It's already happening.
It's monstrous, the things they're doing. I read a story that they tried to take in a guy and he got away, but they got his 3-year-old kid, and they're just like, come out and get your kid, holding the kid fucking ransom to
Remember when there was a rally, a Nazi rally in South Carolina? This was during Trump's first term, and it was kind of a goofy thing because they had Hawaiian lanterns that they were holding.
Yeah, the tiki torches.
The tiki torches, and they had blood and soil, and everybody was, and Trump was
That was the fine
hey,
people on both sides.
yes,
Yeah.
and I just see this as just a progression of that, where it's that level of hatred is just becoming hyper normalized, that we just expect that level of violence from the state at this point. They've always been violent, let's be clear, but it's escalating we're manufacturing consent for it because the people that they're targeting are on the margins. So civil war's already been declared. We're already a few stanzas into the poem. First they came for the da-da-da,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. When in his first term, when he said Proud Boys, something stand by or something. I mean, yeah, you have pretty much implicit permission from the president to do whatever fucking bullshit.
January 6th. January 6th. The thing that they were like, move on.
It really happened. That's why these people are just persecuted and they need to be pardoned. And
yeah, he said, march down there peacefully. Yeah. That's the response you get. He said peacefully. Oh man.
And
honestly, though, it's These people are delusional, but it's understandable ish. The only problem is that they just bought lies. People told them lies that the election was rigged. If I had seen evidence, like actual evidence that an election was rigged, I would have been there too. But I mean, the problem is that they went on vibes and were like, well, Trump can't possibly have lost.
Part of it is also patriarchal Christian nationalism. You're sort of told that when you're dictated an edict, that's what Trump does, is give edicts. He doesn't give executive orders. He doesn't make statements. He gives edicts like a king. Like, this is what I declare. This is how it goes. And this is very much in tandem with patriarchal Christian nationalism, which is great for a narcissistic personality to prey upon, right? Like, if somebody with authority says something, it's not really for you to question. That's just what you're ingrained with. In like, there's a hierarchy in evangelical Christian spaces where it's like God, and then your father, and then your mother under that. So the critical thinking, he even said, I love the uneducated. There's a reason for that.
Even more recently, just a couple weeks ago, he was like, smart people hate me. That's just a dig at his base. So, like, if you voted for him, he does not think you are smart.
You're muted.
Are you muted or something, Adam?
What I do?
Oh, there you go. Try that. I hear.
Is it working now?
Yeah,
Is it working? Can you hear me now?
Good.
Yeah, I grew up in an evangelical Christian home, and yeah, exactly. It's that, God the Father dispensates to the husband, who is the Godhead of the family, and the children and the wife have to be submissive. Even further to that point, there's basically verses that are just like, if someone is in power, it's because it's God's will. You know what I mean? So there's this kind of like divine, well, you see that crap where like, oh, God chose Trump to save America.
Came down, stopped that bullet.
But Obama, no, he wasn't. That wasn't God. God made a mistake with that guy, or any Democrat. But yeah, it's just, I always think that, and I don't know, a lot of people are religious, but to me, it's like, if you are willing to believe absurd things, then you're more easily lied to.
And
it's
conspiracies like QAnon, I think that also kind of helped create a hotbed, because people like to think that they have some sort of
special
inner knowledge. They're in on it or something. There's a lot of coded language and jargon in the way that Trump talks. So there's very like cult vibes, and also, yeah, it's like there's an in-group and people want to be part of the in-group too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a sense of belonging, which is so interesting because, again, it's a perversion of the way that marginalized communities congregate, right? It's like, we're here to provide like a safe space for each other, but the averse of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that's the appeal of religion. It brings you in. But sorry, Dustin, you were saying.
Yep, we're coming up on our hard cutoff of an hour and a half.
Okay, all right.
So I want to give you each like a minute or two to just talk about takeaways from the week. I don't know, anything we didn't talk about, because I had more things on my list and I gave up because there's too many things to talk about. This has been a week surrounding politics. Holy crap. I'm tired after this.
Yeah,
that's my takeaway. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, that's a natural thing.
You guys got.
I got tired a while ago, dude. We've been dealing with this fucking nightmare for 10 years. Obviously, with him being reelected, somebody said that it's like 10 years we've been dealing with this horse shit. I don't know, man. It just feels like we're delving further and further into bipartisan insanity. I don't even know what to think anymore. And it's like, yeah, it's like these multiple things daily, shootings and the ICE stuff and just fucking insanity. But that's pretty much my take.
Yeah, I guess like I also, call to action. We want to be empowered. We want to walk away with an idea in mind of how to move forward, because this is not going to stop. We're not even a year into his presidency, and this shit's not going to stop. So instead of, getting inundated with headline after headline, I would urge folks to reach out to their communities and see how you can be of a help to them, be a help to your neighbor, get to know folks, see if you can be on like a ICE watch group. If you have any time, like go to a nice facility. There's definitely people probably protesting right in front of there that could definitely use your help, or wheat paste signs that have numbers and resources and websites. Like there's things to do. Time to strap up and strap in and see what we can do for each other.
If you're going to protest ICE at ICE facilities, be very, very careful how you do it, because they arrested New York sitting Congress people who went and demanded to see the inside of the facility. They to Chicago, one of the people running for Congress, Kat Abou-Ghazaleh,
and there's
YouTuber,
also
and the lieutenant governor there, also from Illinois. They were protesting together. Both of them got pushed around by ICE, like literally pushed around. Like they were just doing peaceful protests, not doing anything crazy.
Yep.
And it's all on film. And if they can do this to the lieutenant governor and somebody who is running for Congress, they can do it to any of you. So please be careful.
Right. Of course, be careful. I'm also like, just to be of help. Even if you don't, like, not everybody needs to be on the front lines of a protest. You can also look up mutual aid, see, GazaFunds.com. There's people you can donate to. There's legit GoFundMe's on there. There's people that you can tap into and see how you can be a resource to them. It's not, we have each other. That's the takeaway for me, is we have each other. Yes.
All right. That is a wonderful takeaway, Vanessa. Thank you. That's probably as good as we can get after this crazy week. I would like to thank you and thank Adam for joining me today, and Scott briefly for a bit there too.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you with a rotation of people here in the coming weeks. I hope next week isn't as crazy, but I'm hedging my bets on that one.
Yeah.
Because every week there's something so much new, so much fun with this administration. Maybe we'll know more about the Dallas shooter. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you again. Till then, live long and